All right. How's it going, everybody? Stephen Friedler here, coming to you live from my office here in Conway, South Carolina. I got my blazer on, so I look good for you guys. I got my hair slicked back the best I can because I can't find a place to get a haircut right now in these trying times. On a serious note, I hope everyone's really being really safe, and I'm praying for all of you. And these are trying times, and we all just got to get through it. So, to begin, I want to start off by saying I really enjoy doing these cultural, like looking up things, these Spanish speaking countries and things like that. That's my favorite aspect of Spanish class. Sometimes I think here in America we could get stuck in a bubble and especially at our age, we could start just only focusing on things that are happening here and not really care about things that are happening in other parts of the world. And it's important to enrich yourself in different cultures and learn about different languages and learn about the things they do in these places. So I challenge everyone to just, after this class, keep looking into that type of stuff. So the country I chose was Colombia. As you can see here, Colombia by Stephen Friedler. Let's get into it. So let's just start off. These are more just some statistics about the country, some stats, if you will, and then we'll get more into the nitty gritty later on. The population is roughly 49 million. This is statistic as of 2018. It's actually growing, so it's more by now, but I couldn't find that statistic. It's in South America. I think that's common knowledge. We all took geography at some point. And the government is a republic. The current president is Ivan Duque Marquez. Fun fact for you. I know you all were really intrigued by that. The economy is based primarily off oil, mining, agriculture, and manufacturing. So a lot like us, and a lot of countries around the world are based off agriculture and manufacturing. But the way I related to it was we do a ton of manufacturing. Our economy is heavily based off that. We used to do a lot of oil. That's why we have Alaska. So a lot of similarities there. Throughout this whole presentation, you'll see a lot of similarities between the U.S. and Colombia, which is something that before I did this, I didn't really expect. So we'll get into it more. And just to put in perspective for you guys, like where it lies, the location, it borders Panama, Venezuela, Brazil, Ecuador, and Peru. So if you ever have a geography test in one of the classes here at Coastal and they ask that question, I gave you the answer. Take notes. All right, so a brief history. It was discovered in 1499 by Alonso de Ojeda. It wasn't colonized until roughly 25 years later by Rodrigo de Batista. So there was a 26-year period where it just was not much was happening there. It was just not much. But in 1525, they started colonizing, and then for an additional 25 years, it just continued to be colonized until in 1550, King Charles V claimed it as the royal audience of the new kingdom of Granada. So it was under Spanish rule until July 20th, 1810, when they gained their independence. Now, keep that date in mind. We're going to go over it a lot more throughout this presentation. So major cities. This was my favorite part probably of the project, looking these things up. Just a lot of interesting facts and honestly a lot of places that I would like to go. So the first one is Bogota. It's the capital. We'll get into it a little more. Second one is Cali. I'm not talking about California, Hollywood, LA, that type of stuff. I'm talking about Cali, Colombia, and I'm telling you it is the place to be over California, US. Look at the quotation right here. World's capital of salsa. I'm not talking about the sauce. I'm talking about the dance. Just keep that in mind. And then Medellin, the city of eternal spring. I don't know about you. Spring is my favorite time of the year. If it says eternal spring, that's where I want to go. So as I said before, Bogota, it's the capital. It's the largest city in the country. Roughly 7.5 million people, so pretty large. Fun fact that I found, it's actually the highest elevated capital in South America. So that's just a fun fact for you. It's located in the Andes, which is the mountain range. A lot of us have learned about that in high school geography class. Maybe it was high school, maybe it was middle school. I don't know. That's not what we're here to talk about. And just something I found interesting. It's the economic, cultural, artistic, and sports center of the country. So it kind of just reminded me of New York. It has a lot of the same attributes of New York. I would say New York is all of those things as well. So if you, just to put it in perspective, that's from what I read, that's what I related it to. Now, Cali, my personal favorite. World's capital of salsa. If you're making a claim like that, you better own it. And they do. They hold the World Salsa Festival, the World Salsa Festival. So obviously, if you're holding something that says World and Festival, you're probably right to claim yourself as the capital of it. They are the capital of salsa. It's just, if you want to go there during this time, it's between December 25th and December 30th. It's a 5-day celebration. It reminded me a lot of Mardi Gras down in New Orleans. There's a ton of vibrant colors, marches, parades, performances occurring, and the city just really comes alive. Not that it's always alive, but it really comes alive to an even higher level during this time. It's a big party city. I don't know about you guys, but as a 21-year-old here at Coastal's known a little bit to be a party school. I like to dabble with the partying. It's occasionally after my academics, obviously. But seriously, it's supposed to have a great nightlife. I read somewhere that when you go there, you party from dusk to dawn. So you're going all night, and it's just supposed to be a wonderful time. I at some point would like to go there. I'm sure many of you would too. Medellin. This was the one I was talking about. Eternal Spring. Wouldn't you want to go somewhere that's like 75 and sunny every day? Well, this is the place for you. Surrounded by lush forests, vibrant colors. If you look to the picture in the bottom right, look at that night. Look at the lights there. It's just beautiful. Picture to the left, surrounded by lush forest. You could go hiking there, and there's great views. It's another place that I would really like to go. Just some fun facts about it. It's the second largest city in the country and third most visited. So people obviously are attracted to it, and people want to go there. Beautiful scenery, as I said, and great views. Tourist attractions. Tayrona National Park. This is another thing that really caught my eye when I was doing this. Just surrounded by beautiful coast, beautiful water, just sky blue water. Tons of wildlife activities you could do there. Just go snorkeling, hiking, just relax on the beach. I don't know, whatever you prefer. It's all your preference. It borders the Caribbean Sea. Any movie you ever watch when they're going to a wonderful ocean, a wonderful beach, it's usually in the Caribbean, so keep that in mind. When you're snorkeling, you could see reefs, tons of vast wildlife, turtles, rays, different fish species. They got it all. So it was the travel guide there was a little difficult, so I'm going to give you guys the whole rundown. It's more of a day. It's like an admission by day thing. So you go. It's like a day trip type activity. So what they recommend, like a Six Flags, but way better. You know what I mean. What they recommend was it's about an hour north of Santa Marta, and they recommend you take a bus from there. Now, if you're in Santa Marta, you're gonna need a hotel unless you want to sleep outside, which I don't think you do. So the hotel I found was Hotel Boutique Casa Carolina. It's only $70 a night, so pretty cheap. I guess I'm just trying to sell you guys on this. And once you're there, once you get the bus there, you're done in your hotel. And the hotel also had a pool, so just a plus. Once you're done with the hotel, it's about $11 admission to get into the national park. So pretty cheap, and I'd say well worth the money. Tourist attraction number 2, Colombia. It's San Gil. It's considered Colombia's adventure capital. If you're making a claim like that, you better own it, and they do. Trust me. If you're going there, you're probably more of an adventurer and outdoorsman. They have things like rafting, paragliding. These are all daredevil things. Caving, rappelling. That's like when you rappel down a cliff. We've all seen videos of that. And hiking. It's a really beautiful location. It's surrounded by rivers, waterfalls, vast forests. You got it all. You got it all. So if you're in the outdoors, I really recommend this place. It's a great tourist attraction, and people are starting to discover it more and more. It's on the rise. The town itself, it's not Cali. It's not, you're going to be partying dusk to dawn. It's more of a quiet, quaint little town, but a lot of vibrant colors and good people. That's what I read. The flight I found was about, if you're going on a trip there, about $143. I contribute a lot of that to Corona probably. I don't think it's usually that cheap, but if you were to go now, that's what it would be. And the hotel I found was Hotel Santa Catalina de la Provincia, only $40. I can afford that. I make negative money. I can afford that for probably at least one night. One night. Yeah, that's my max. Holiday history. So I chose Colombia's Independence Day because I had a lot of similarities to ours. There was an uprising. Colombian patriots had an uprising in the street, and the country united and basically battled back against Spanish rule, eventually getting their independence July 20th, 1810. You can see in the picture down there, there were some battles. It's similar to a lot of the things that we used to see in our history books in high school with our independence. Um, so a lot of similarities between us and this with their celebrations, like the 4th of July. They have parades, marches throughout the country in big cities, the small cities. They eat wonderful food. They light off fireworks, watch sports like soccer all day. It's just what I got when I was doing this project is Colombians are really proud of their nationality, and this is the day where they show it. They all get together. They put on their colors, their yellow, blue, and red colors, and listen to traditional music and things like that. So very similar to what we do, and just looked great. Everything I did. So famous person, Sofia Vergara. As a 21-year-old male, I love Sofia Vergara for many reasons. She was born July 10th, 1972. She's 47 years old. She was born in a Roman Catholic family in Barranquilla. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Which, from what I read, wasn't really the safest place, but we'll kind of get into that a little more. She came from modest beginnings. Her father was a cattle farmer, and she had aspirations to maybe provide for her family a little more, make a little more money, and follow her dreams, which I think Colombians and Americans find inspiring. And it gets more inspiring because she actually studied to become a dentist, which I did not know. So she was already looking for a path. She was taking a path to get some more money and provide for her family a little more, but then left that to pursue her dreams, which is scary to do on its own in itself. So we could all respect her for that, and Colombians do respect her from that. And she became an actor and a model. She actually is the highest grossing paid actor in the world for a while. Which, fun fact, that's crazy to come from where she came from and to get to that point. It's just prominence, hard work, dedication, and everyone's inspired about that. And she overcame some things. Her brother was murdered in where she was born, and that really motivated her to get her family out of there. Not that it's a bad place, but just I think anyone could just relate. If something happened to your family, you want what's best for them, and people can respect you for that as well. And Americans and Colombians both do. Finally, this is an important one. I thought it was important. I put this in. The war on drugs. That's what a lot of us, I know a lot of kids my age, that's how we envision Colombia. It's just a battle zone, which isn't true. We're going to get to that. But anyway, just a little history on it. Pablo Escobar founded the Medellin cartel in 1976 and was the head of it until his death in 1993 when his stronghold was overrun by officers. He distributed cocaine throughout the world into America, so we could relate to that. So it's literally affected us. Like, this had direct effect to us. Distributed powder cocaine throughout the world. At one point, over 70 million pounds a month. A lot of people died in the crossfire. There was literally a war between the government and the cartel. Innocent people died, tons of innocent people, tons of cartel people, and tons of just military people. So it was a crazy time in the country. And I thought it was important I put this in because that's how we envision Colombia is, and that's not true. Colombia is a great place. There's a ton of wonderful people and a ton of wonderful culture, and I think that we have to get away from that notion that it's like what Pablo Escobar and the cartel made it be. So anyway, thank you guys. It's been a great semester. Thank you, Professor. I hope everyone's staying safe. Farewell.